All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Liberty Libations, kind of an offshoot of the Free Georgia podcast. My name is Jake Green, and we're back after 2 months of not showing any type of video on our YouTube channel. So we're back. It's been a hell of a 2 months for me. We have two guests today. Y'all want to introduce yourselves? Zach, why don't you go first?
What's up? I'm Zach. That's it.
All right. That's
Short and
shortest
sweet.
intro ever. All right, Amanda. Who are you?
Hey.
What do you do?
Hey, I'm Amanda. I also go by Daywalker Comedy on YouTube and all the social medias. And I also am a voice actor. I kind of do a little bit of everything, comedy, acting, all that
Nice.
jazz. But
Love it. Looks like we have another arrival.
ooh,
DC. Hello, DC. Who are you? It's very cryptic.
it's like mystery man.
Your mic's on
All-in
mute as
show.
well. Who would DC be? There was somebody.
Where did you put this link?
I only gave it to you. I only put it in our chat. So
I
All
gave
right.
it to Amanda. So
I
you're the
Okay,
leak. You did
so
it.
it's so
I'm
it's
the
from
mole, I'm
somebody from the
sorry.
chat. It's somebody from the chat. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I've had a rough couple of months, which is why I haven't done any of this stuff, and I apologize. I had surgery right after the elections, sinus surgery, and was out for like 3 weeks after that. Then I went to Peru where I got salmonella on a hike and was out for a while after that. And I got altitude sickness, and then I got a sinus infection. And then I was in Montana for New Year's, and now I'm healthy and back in Georgia. So
Were you were you bringing like raw chicken on your hike? Like, how did this happen?
yeah, it was petting a dog and then immediately eating.
The dog?
Yeah, well,
Do that every
that was an
day.
option, but we didn't
Yeah.
do it that time.
You're like, when in Peru?
Yeah,
Wait, you
no,
probably do that every day. You
I'm
take care of a lot of dogs.
no, that's true. We don't take good care of a lot of dogs. That's for
Hmm.
sure. No, we we were hiking to Machu Picchu, and everybody was petting these dogs, and there was one dog that I pet that no one else did, and we immediately ate. You're on the trail, you don't have hand sanitizer and all this stuff. There's barely any running water. So yeah, it was really rough. The stinking Steven. It's Steven who's DC. The guide on the trek told me that he'd done it before with a stomach bug and that I could do it no problem. But we were hiking a 14,000-foot mountain the next
Ooh.
And
day.
he does it every day. Like,
Yeah, he does it all the time. I'm just like, I hiked up another like 400 yards, and they had to cart me back on a horse because I was so dehydrated. And
Wow.
I'm convinced that if I'd have made it halfway up the mountain, I couldn't have made it back down, and I probably would have died from dehydration.
Oof. I love the horse thing though. That's so like old school. You're like
It was bizarre. Trying to stay on a horse while trying not to puke and trying not to pass out is a tough thing to do.
How quickly does that kick in? Like, is it like, it sounds like it was pretty instant, like once you felt the salmonella coming on?
Yeah, so we ate lunch, and then about 6 hours later, we were going to bed, and I looked at Nikki, my wife, and I was like, I just don't feel that well. Proceeded to vomit 10 times once an hour for 10 hours, vomit and diarrhea, and lost all fluids.
Oh,
It was miserable.
you went straight up like Oregon Trail.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, I could that could have been my death. They could have put it on friggin' Oregon Trail.
so you were there during the whatever coup was happening. Was this just happening around you while you were dying, basically?
So they shipped me back. Me and Nikki went back. We stayed in a hotel. Nurse came and gave me IV fluid for like 4 hours, which 2 nurses came to my hotel, gave me IV fluids, gave me 10 days worth of meds. Do either one of y'all want to guess how much that cost?
Like, not even real money. Just
$360.
okay.
It was unbelievable. It was so good. So then we met up with our group later on. like 2 days later at Machu Picchu. So we actually got to see it. And when we came down the mountain, that's when the coup started. And the president declared Congress illegitimate and said he was taking over. Our guide and one of the people who was on our trek were Peruvian, and they were kind of freaking out. They were calling and texting people nonstop. There were protesters on the streets. They implemented a lockdown. You couldn't go, or a curfew. You couldn't go out after 10 p.m. They halted all international travel. But then Congress voted to have it voted instead to have the president impeached. So the president got arrested. And so all of that was lifted. So we got out of the country.
It's so weird that you still have to vote on that.
Right.
You see it happening and you're like, all right, guys, let's take a vote.
Right. And then like a week after we left, the whole country just went into chaos. So we got out just in time because you can't leave the country anymore. Or at least that's the last I heard. They shut down. Like there are tons of foreigners stuck there, which is
not fun.
I mean, it's not the worst place to be stuck. It's pretty inexpensive to live there and pretty inexpensive to eat. The food's great. Depending on where you are. If you're in Lima, that's a terrible place to be stuck. But if you're in Cuzco or if you're in like in the Andes somewhere, oh yeah, I could do that. I mean, I could buy a farm there and retire. Like the place is beautiful.
I like imagining that the coup was because you were there. You were just like sowing your like libertarianness everywhere. You're like, be ungovernable. They're like, see.
I like that idea too.
Well, that's what many of us were speculating, that Jake's a Fed. The surgery was to change his face, of course, face-off surgery.
Uh-huh.
And then, he did the coup. So
yeah. I mean, people kept calling my surgery a nose job, so you're not far off.
I'm just all for face-off surgery now because that's reversible. You can get your old face back. So
is that how that works?
I think so. I mean, I watched the movie last year, so
that brand new movie.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious!
I'm surprised they haven't done like a reboot of that one.
That is surprising, considering all the technology they have now.
Yeah, and the fact that they've like run out of ideas, so they're like they would reboot it, but they would try to make it like progressive. So they'd be like, Nicolas Cage would be like Idris Elba. Who was it? John Travolta would be, I don't know, Laverne Cox.
Like blackface. I don't know.
I'd watch it. I mean, that sounds great. But it would also be a Netflix series.
They just use the original like Face Off IP, but then completely change the story, like they're doing with what is it like Witcher and what was the other show? Oh. I forget. There's another show that they did that with, but
interesting. Yeah, I kind of stopped keeping up so much with shows and movies over the past few years, which is really unfortunate because I used to be super into shows and movies. And then I think I got disillusioned when we used to throw Oscars parties every year, me and my wife, because we're both in film and TV. And I got disillusioned with the whole thing the year of the 2020 when they did the Oscars, or 2021, I guess, when they did the Oscars, because it was garbage. It was the most virtue signaling piece of crap show that I've ever watched in my life. And everyone was participating. Everyone that I had like loved watching for my whole life was participating in this absurdity. And I was like, I hate everything.
The weird thing is that like being an actor, granted, a lot of them do believe it, but I feel like most of it is for each other. If you get people one-on-one, a lot of them will actually have very reasonable opinions, or they can be swayed. But when they're around each other, it's like the emperor's wearing no clothes, where they're like looking around like, yes, this is what we believe. Yes, I'll do it louder. Like it's kind of like was the angel of death, where you like put the blood on the door so it passes over you. You're just like, yep, I have these views, and then the angel of wokeness like floats over you.
And people literally did that during the riots in DC. They put "We support BLM" on their doors so they wouldn't get destroyed. It didn't work. Yeah, they still did it. Yeah, you can't even win when you're on their side sometimes.
Well, yeah, I've heard some actors that are more like conservative or libertarian say it's like they have friends that are like, yeah, I agree with you. I just can't say anything.
Oh yeah, like
So
I've met so I do conventions and stuff for my voiceover work for like nerd stuff. Like it's cool. I get to meet people. But by mystery DC. Apparently it wasn't Steven. He said he was invited by Steven, so we still
Yeah.
don't know who he was.
Yeah.
I like that though. He like
It's all
checked
good.
in as
Yeah.
the FBI.
If he wants to come back, he can. We just need to know his name or know something about him. He's
But I
still
got
in the audience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like I met really cool people, and in the green room you start talking, and maybe one of you throws out something like, "Oh yeah, Thomas Sowell," and then they kind of go like, there's certain words that are safe, because if they don't know who he is, then it's like, "Oh, I'll just yep." But if they know,
That's a good one.
Yeah, like Thomas Sowell, like stuff that's not like actively like polarizing or whatever. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people might think he is, but
it's
going all about
straight to
data.
Richard Spencer. You're just like, let me work up to that.
Wait, what?
You got to work up. Yeah, you got to work up to Richard Spencer.
I wanted to. That's funny. I literally like 2 hours ago started writing a sketch. I haven't fully figured it out, but it's like the joke about how like this is the start of the alt-right pipeline, and it's like very moderate stuff. Like you start listening to Joe Rogan and whatever. So I'm just imagining what it's like. It's like, oh, I guess I'm the start of that. So I'm like the first stop on the alt-right pipeline. I'm like, I got snacks here. Let's just kind of making fun of like.
I like that.
It's like a slip and slide into goose stepping. Like seriously, guys.
Heck yeah. Anyway. They take the most mild things and say that it's a pipeline to the to the far left or to the far right. Let's see. Mic a little better now. Is the sound a little better?
You sound fine.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
All right, it's Danielle. Steven and I grew up in the same neck of the woods. That's all I was able to read.
I was the libertarian spearhead back in the day. I swear I'm friendly. You can come back in.
Yeah, come on.
I'm gonna ask. Back in.
But yeah, you've got some people who are more outspoken about it. You've got like Dean Cain and whatnot. Like I got to meet him. He was very sweet, and he's much more outspoken. But he also gets fired. Like I don't think he really works in the mainstream anymore. I think they kind of have relegated him to the land where they send all other conservatives and libertarians, which is like Hallmark movies and I guess Christian content. Like I don't really know. Like
yeah, no, because I've seen him on like some Hallmark movies, stuff like that. Yeah, some Christmas movies there. Yeah,
that's where you get if you have any sort of even semi-conservative or based views. That's pretty much where you get relegated. A judge, like you meet before a tribunal, and they relegate you to Hallmark Channel.
Those Melissa Joan Hart movies look pretty good though.
I love them. I love cheesy rom-coms. I love holiday rom-coms. It's like my favorite thing because it's so predictable. It's comforting. They know what they are. Like sometimes you just need stupid fun stuff.
Not everything has to be highbrow. It doesn't have to mean anything more. Like
right.
I mean, I kind of agree with you, but I think those movies are the epitome of stupidity.
Listen,
I hate them so much.
Don't be ableist, okay? I'm a little bit stupid.
I mean, I like dumb things.
On my level.
I watched Dumb and Dumber over the holidays. That movie doesn't hold up as much as I thought it would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like the lines that I remember were hysterical. But like it wasn't fast-paced comedy like they do now. And like I don't know, I got a little bored in between the jokey parts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it didn't age well, like it was just like dumb. It was just the pacing wasn't quite what you, or was it kind of dumber than you remembered?
Some of it was a little dumber than I remembered, but it is Dumb and Dumber, so you can't really complain.
It's not like they didn't warn you.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a movie, like one of my favorite movies of all time is Clue.
Nice.
And it drove me nuts because I was like, there's this guy that I was seeing, and I talked it up for weeks, and then he watched it, and he's like, "This is boring, and I don't like it." And I was like, "This isn't gonna work." I mean, there were other reasons, but I'm just like, that's in my head. That was the first moment. I'm like, you don't get it. Like the eye contact there, the look, the performances. These are comedic masters. And he's like, they're not talking. I'm like,
you don't have to talk.
Yeah, it's in the silences, and Tim Curry is brilliant. Everybody's there. Anyway,
so sometimes I feel like you have to see a movie at the time it's released, or you're just never gonna get it.
That could be.
I mean, I wasn't around in like the early 80s. I was
That's true.
87.
Neither was I.
Oh,
But
yeah,
also,
that's
I
true.
just say that because I've grew up never really seeing any movies. We had one movie, and it was Field of Dreams. And
Oh,
now I just feel like I can't
classic.
appreciate movies when I watch them, like from the 90s or whatever. I'm just like, it's not doing it for me like the person who freaked out recommending it to me did.
No, I agree with you in most regards. There are like epics and classics that will stand the test of time that you could go back and watch right now from like, or you could go watch for the first time from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, 20 or 40s. Like there are classics that still hold up, but just like any regular everyday movie is going to be trash because like if you're used to watching movies nowadays, it's just not going to be the same thing, and everything's going to seem cheesy or unreal.
And the older movies seem real slow to us, I feel like,
Yeah.
which I sometimes appreciate, like a really old movie where I just take my time and like focus on what's going on. But sometimes I'm just like, speed it up. My modern brain doesn't like this.
Didn't they say that like across society we've all had like our attention spans have gotten below that of a goldfish because like
Oh no.
TikTok and everything that's like our like the dopamine or whatever the cycle is that kind of like rewards your brain for like scrolling. Now we just 6 seconds I think is the average of our attention. So
Right.
good luck, society.
That's so sad. That's so sad that we've gotten to that point. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I've missed for the past 2 months. I literally unplugged from politics. I know something about we couldn't elect a Speaker of the House, but I know almost nothing else. What all has happened, or what? Give me some highlights.
There was a dead guy who got elected.
What?
Where was this? Hold on. It was a couple months ago, but it was
That's more common than you would think.
Is
Like
it really?
I think that happened in Georgia too. Like someone died and they're like, we're just not gonna touch the ballot. We'll deal with it later.
Well,
And then dead guy wins and they call a new election.
yeah, this was in Pennsylvania. It says Democrat reelected by a landslide in Pennsylvania, even though he's dead. And it was State Representative Tony DeLuca who died last month. And
Oh my gosh.
I'm assuming it was just that people just aren't aware enough. But
He died
maybe
a
it
month
was
before the election. Like that seems like plenty of time to take him off the daggum ballot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was something where like people were symbolically like, it was like the rebel vote where they're like, I'm going to vote anyway because I don't want the other guy, and they wanted to trigger a runoff. But it probably is just people not knowing that he was dead because people just vote down the ticket. They're like D or R, check, and they didn't check to see if he was alive.
Person that's serious. Like I really want the dead guy.
Yeah,
I prefer the dead guy, honestly, in almost every situation.
how does your wife feel about that?
She would vote for the dead guy too.
Oh, I was being dirty.
No,
like,
I get it.
you're like I'm trying to actively move away from that. No necrophilia. You told me there's nothing off limits. I feel let down.
Well,
What
there's
is it
nothing off
called
limits. That doesn't mean I'm going to engage with it.
Isn't there like North Korea is technically ruled by Kim Il-sung, who's dead, and they call it the only necro something government.
Like
I don't know.
Necro dictator?
Something like that.
That sounds cool.
That's what we are for like a brief period of time when dead guy wins. We're a necro whatever.
It's like a world of actual Walking Dead.
That's cool.
Hey, look who's coming into town.
Yo,
Nicholas.
Only for a few minutes.
You got a big meeting
Apparently,
to go to?
Yeah, apparently my meeting starts at 8:30, not 8. I just spent 20 minutes trying to figure that out.
So you've got 9 minutes to hang out with us. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this goes back. Let's see. Jessica Cheek, Dazed and Confused, Requiem for a Dream. Those are great movies.
Those are fantastic movies.
And those Requiem for a Dream stands up. I mean, it's depressing as crap, but that movie stands up. I haven't watched Dazed and Confused since it came out. It's been a long time. But those were fantastic.
I like Dazed and Confused. That was always lumped into the same category as Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I hated. That movie is awful.
Yeah, they're not even close to the same thing. Like, why are they lumped into the
always
same
recommended
category?
in like the same sentence to me.
That's so weird. That's a weird pair. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Well, what else has happened in the world of politics that I need to know about? Keep catching me up.
So the speaker thing, though, like basically a few rebel Republicans is what they're calling it, did the force the vote, which is
Okay.
what, Jimmy Dore and some others were recommending the squad do back in the day,
Okay.
where there was a small number of them, but everybody had to vote in lockstep to elect a speaker.
Yeah.
And that was true for both the Democrats then and the Republicans now. And the Democrats then just fell in line and they all voted for Nancy Pelosi. And they didn't ask anything for their vote. They just did it. And the Republicans now, there were some of them like Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert,
Okay.
who like demanded stuff in order for their vote for McCarthy. I don't remember his first name.
Was it good stuff?
They got like a committee to investigate government overreach. They call it like a new church committee, who I think they investigated like the CIA back in the day.
Yeah, it seems like they really did a lot of good with that back in the day.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if it's known
for sure.
Yeah, it definitely got worse. So
the government investigating itself is always the stupidest thing.
Yeah. So yeah, within the realm of government, maybe these are good concessions,
but separation of powers, Nick.
We're going back to third grade civics here.
Well, at least some people tried to do something. That's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I thought I saw a lot of headlines with Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert in the headlines.
Yeah, isn't there? I saw like a news article where somebody try to put like Gaetz in like a headlock or something, or like they grabbed him on the floor.
What?
Like a guy who was
like
lunging towards him. They put him.
Interesting.
They like grabbed his face.
What? They grabbed his face.
Yeah, it was another congressman who was like, they were getting pissed and like arguing with Matt Gaetz and yelling at him. And one guy starts getting like real pissed and lunging. They just grab his face.
I think Gaetz may have voted against what he said he was going to do in the 14th round and forced the 15th round. And that kind of pissed them off.
So that required a physical attack.
Just gave him the chair.
I don't know.
Like WWE.
I don't know. I mean, it would have been better if, if someone got laid out on the floor of Congress. At least it would be interesting.
I would like that.
I want them to be like the Indian Congress, just beating the shit out of each other.
It would be more entertaining than January 6th.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it would. Good point by Zen Libertarian. Church committee discovered Operation Mockingbird and MK Ultra.
Okay.
So at least they did stuff. I mean, I don't think much has changed, but at least they found stuff.
Well, I don't think they're slipping LSD into people anymore. They're doing other terrible stuff, but I don't think they're doing as much mind control stuff.
Where's the LSD for me?
They were doing the LSD.
Yeah. Put it in my water. Life's hard.
Interesting. Well, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I came back and everything seems to still be running. So I guess the government is still around, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it still exists.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, they found it. They didn't do anything about it. Yeah. Sounds about right.
Right now, I mean, I don't know if, I guess it's technically politics. They were talking about it. I think Biden just said he won't do it, but I think they were talking about banning gas stoves, and it's just funny to watch everybody fall in line. Like,
why?
Because I guess they're saying it causes an increase in asthma and it's not as efficient and something about climate change, because that's the new thing. It's like everything's goes back to climate change. But like, I don't know. I hear induction stoves are good, but for me, like my electric stove is shit. I much prefer my gas stove I used to have. So
gas is way better. Gas stove is the best.
Yeah,
it's the best.
I'm like, give me asthma, daddy. Like,
your power off.
I have asthma and a gas stove, and I'll take both. It's fine.
Just huff.
You also have a pit bull, Zach, which is the other thing that they're trying to ban.
What are they trying to ban with pit bulls?
They're like literally trying to ban
pit bulls. Banning them.
Wait, what?
It's
federally?
Right is pit bulls.
Yeah.
Federally.
I don't know if it's on a state level.
I don't think it was a proposed thing. It was just people spouting off.
It was like Matt
People need to
Gates wrote in
shut
his
up.
mouth, I think.
Oh my
And isn't it
God.
mostly like, it's funny because it's like the people who are supposed to be pro 2A and are like, not, guns don't kill people, people kill people. It's bad, irresponsible gun owners. But then the moment it's pit bulls, suddenly I feel like it's mostly conservatives I'm seeing who are like,
Yeah.
ban pit bulls because they kill people sometimes because of irresponsible
That's
pit
insane.
bull owners. Like, it's just the same argument, but they say it's not the same thing.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, they literally did life mean.
They're banned in Miami, I think, or at least in the city limits, which is ironic because Pitbull is from Miami.
So pit bulls, but they actually meant, they're like, no, we're just trying to ban the rapper. We weren't trying to ban the dog.
We're dog lovers.
Here's the violent pit bull they're trying to ban.
Oh, he's ferocious.
Oh yeah, she's super ferocious.
Sorry, I misgendered your dog.
I know.
I'm listening and I'm learning. I apologize.
She's taking notes, so you'll be getting a call later.
Great, cool.
Yeah.
I'll do diversity and inclusion classes. I'll do the whole apology tour. I'm sorry.
Awesome, perfect. That's all we require.
Great.
Total compliance.
That's it.
That's so crazy. Like, I thought the whole pit bull argument, like the big deal about them, was over at this point. Like, I didn't know that was still a thing.
Did something come up? Because it happened. But it happened a couple months ago. There was like the woman who was
there may have been
mauled.
like a
Nick. You want to finish?
There may have been another mauling story that popped up
like recently. Okay.
Interesting. But
pit bulls may have mauled another child, but let's not ban them. Come on.
Ban children. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. What were they doing there?
What were the children wearing? Come on now.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, like, I don't understand that. There's no way other breeds don't attack people and don't attack children. Like, are you telling me that a Rottweiler or a Doberman has never attacked a kid?
Right. And also, those dogs, apparently Rottweilers and pit bulls can be great family pets. Like, it just depends on how you raise them. And I'm not saying that these people were bad dog owners. I don't know them, but it is kind of like you can make anybody or any kid. A kid could grow up to be like a Nobel Prize winner, Mother Teresa, or they could grow up to be Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, it's kind of, nurture, not nature per se.
I think the most vicious dog. I think
I got to go do nerd shit. So,
all right, go do nerd shit, Nick. Go do your thing.
I'll talk to you guys.
Jared
later.
to come.
Tell Jared to get his ass over here. I think they rated the 10 most aggressive breeds at one point. You want to know what number 1 is?
Is it a Chihuahua?
It's a Chihuahua.
Is it?
Yes.
It's not. That's true too. I love Chihuahuas, but they bite people more than any other dog I know.
It's just that nobody takes it seriously because like their little jaws can't really do much damage. But if they were the size of a pit bull, shit.
Yeah.
But that's like saying razor blades can't do any damage. They're a little.
That's true.
They're little shivs.
Let's see. I'm trying to share my Brave tab here. 10 most aggressive dogs. Chihuahua was number 1. They tested 46 and 14 of them failed.
Does that mean they bit 14 people?
I think so. Yes. Yes, I think that's exactly what happened. Dachshund.
Really?
That's surprising to me.
Also, it's called a standard smooth. Can you imagine saying like, what is it? It's a standard smooth, obviously. Like, I've never heard that.
I've never heard that either. Why is that the alternate name? There's no way anybody has ever called them a standard smooth. Okay, a chow chow.
Chow chow.
That's a bummer. Oh, 71%. Oh, passed. That's passed. Doberman. There we go. Dalmatian. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. Rottweiler. See, I named 2 of the top 6. Jack Russell Terrier. Okay.
Wishbone.
German Shepherd. I wonder if some of these are like aggressive because they're trained to be aggressive, or if they were just untrained dogs and they just tested out a whole bunch of them. American Stafford Terrier / Pit Bull Terrier.
So we got to ban Chihuahuas first.
Yeah.
Chihuahuas. I mean, for many reasons, Chihuahuas should be banned first.
Oh.
A husky.
Husky. The
I've
one
never heard
dog
of a
that
husky
seriously bit me has been a husky.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
they're pretty high energy dogs. So I imagine if that if they're aggressive, then that high energy would go towards like mauling people.
I guess so. Interesting. But 86% passed. So it's still a 14% chance.
Can you imagine somebody like who had to test this? I'm imagining it's not a bunch of people. What if it was just one guy getting bit this many times? Like they just put him in a room with these dogs and the dogs just have at him.
I'm envisioning the guys like who wear the like suits that look like bomb
Yeah.
suits. Yeah. And they just stick them in a room with a few of these dogs and see which ones attack.
Just like the intern gets thrown in there.
Some of those dogs too, like huskies, they really need exercise. They need a ton. So it's like where they train. I don't know. Is it some husky that's just like looking for something to do? So it decided to bite some guy. I don't know.
I only ever got seriously bit by a Great Dane.
Really?
And they're like notoriously docile.
Yeah.
But he was like super protective of his owner because his owner had been in a car wreck and was like on crutches, had been in a wheelchair, and I was trying to sit for this dog, and he lunged out of the car. You can see the scars right there. Boom, boom.
Oh yeah, actually.
Lunged out of the car and just attached to my arm, and he let go for half a second, and I took off, and the guy guilted me into still keeping his daggum dog. So we put a mask on him while we took him to the backyard. Once his owner was gone, he was a little bit better, but I still put like a shock collar on him, and whenever he would come too close, I would just buzz him a little bit and he would walk away. Because I mean, he was huge. They're huge. Like he weighs as much as I do. That's terrifying. I just got bit by a daggum dog, fat pouring out of my arm.
It's good to know that guilting you is like something that works. So I'll save that.
Put that up here.
Why do you think I'm doing this, Zach? I get guilted by everybody. No, I actually enjoy doing these things. Just not for 4 hours like Nick is used to. Nick would do this for like 6 hours whenever we do this if we could, but
I mean, it is pretty fun. Like when you get going, like, we've kind of just been pinging all over the place. And that's kind of what's fun is that it's organic. And then you realize, oh shit, 3 hours have gone by.
Yeah, they are pretty fun. Like we've had I don't know, we had like 5 or 6 folks on one time, and it was a blast. And generally I'll have like a whole bunch of tabs ready to go, but I literally haven't been around. So I don't know what has happened. I don't know what's been happening this week and all that. So
we can throw out some stuff. Oh, you got somebody?
Here's
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, a little bit of everything, man. It's been a busy day. Dodging tornadoes down here.
Oh yeah, we had a warning up here.
I drove through it on the highway.
Okay.
Oh,
I work in Griffin, about 25 minutes from the house.
Okay.
And all the weather reports all day were saying 5:30, 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock. So about 3:30, I put my headphones on. I'm like, all right, locking everything out. I'm going to hammer out some work. It's going to be good. And then, all of a sudden phones are going off. Tornado warning. I was like, oh, fantastic. And so I get the truck and I'm heading west. And, the radio is saying that the tornado is west of me, headed east. I'm like, oh, this is phenomenal. Perfect. So, I drove through a wall of water too. It was unreal. I mean, it was.
Wow.
It wasn't just rain. There was a wall of water. And as soon as I get in that, there was a car behind me that didn't want to wait for everybody to go. There was a passing lane that was opening up. I was going to turn. They bumped into me, bumped me in the other lane, and drove by.
Oh.
Just sped off.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, good times.
You've had an evening.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I would be in bed right now. Like you're just here, like nothing happened.
Well, his adrenaline's going. He can't go to bed right now.
That's true.
Well, exactly. No, as soon as I got so I heard the radio saying that the tornado was basically headed right at me.
Yeah.
It was just like a mile or two south of where I was on a parallel highway, and so I just put Slayer on and both hands and got through it.
Hey, if you're gonna go out a certain way, you want to have music like that playing.
There we go. I'm not a Florida man, but it'd still be a good article.
Do you not find that no music helps you see better, though?
Yeah, I do find myself, because now I'm in the upper 30s, do find myself turning it down when I get into parking lots. I can't park with the music up.
I've done that my whole life. I get it. I don't know why that's a thing. Like, why do I need to turn it down to look for a parking spot and park? Like, why?
Right.
Why?
I think
Why?
it's constant. It's maybe it helps with concentration or something. Like maybe it's like your brain's trying to do a complex task. Like
That
find a
could
parking
be.
spot.
But,
I don't know.
like, I'm a phenomenal parker. I was a valet for 7 years. I could park with
Oh.
my eyes closed. So, like, why do I need to turn down the music or the podcast in order to park? Fucking stupid.
It's all part of the focus.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it makes the transition to going outside where there's less sound easier. That's a stupid thing. Well, welcome, Stephen. You have a drink of choice tonight? Oh, Amanda, I forgot to ask your drink of choice.
Yeah,
you have one?
I realized I'm like, oh, it's Liberty Libations, and I didn't grab anything.
Okay.
So
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Sober tonight. I'm sober.
Sure.
tonight.
Yeah. Bill's Two-Hearted.
Okay.
nice.
Can't ever go wrong with that one.
No.
Yep. We'll just pretend the sobriety is totally like a moral choice, like I'm virtue signaling. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not drinking. It's not good for you. No, I just
Yeah.
forgot.
No, try to hold
Yeah.
us to a different standard.
My wife is doing dry January, and I'm like, good luck with that.
Yeah, have fun.
I'm with you 5 days a week.
I'm still not drinking. I'm drinking these curious elixirs. You ever heard of
Okay.
these? They're like designed to mimic a cocktail, but actually be super good for you. So like you don't drink the whole bottle, you drink about half, and then you drink the rest the next time. And they're delicious. Let me take that back. 3 of them are delicious. 4 of them suck ass. So, yeah. But
All of that after roasting Amanda for not drinking.
I didn't roast her. She roasted herself.
I did.
You know what?
That's my specialty. That's how I get away with saying very kind of weird like shit that would get other people canceled. I guess because I'm like they're like, oh, she already said what we would have said to her. I'm like, self-deprecation.
Tell
kinda
Jake
gets too far.
meant it when you said it. I mean,
Whatever. Y'all want to see like the coolest Christmas gift I got? It was from a white elephant. All right. So this little guy is called Weepy the Wee Wee. And it's obviously an antique, but it still works. And the way you make it work is you pull down this kid's pants and he shoots water.
Oh, I've seen that before. Yes.
It's
Weepy
amazing.
wee wee.
Weepy the Wee Wee. My cousin-in-law, I guess is what you'd call him. It was a white
Roll
elephant thing. And he got that for me. And I just thought it was hysterical. So now it's on my desk.
I feel like Weepy the Wee Wee sounds like something you need to go to like your doctor to get checked out.
Absolutely.
like an STD. You're like,
I've got
it's
a
like what the
Weepy Wee Wee.
STDs are called in England.
Yeah, that with an accent would be perfect. With a British accent. Man.
I feel like Amanda was about to try it. I don't
What?
know.
You're
what?
about to try a British accent saying Weepy the Wee Wee.
Wee.
Weepy the Wee Wee. Hey, babe. Oh, boy, got little Weepy. One of my favorite things with British people. Yeah, Sean came in at the wrong time. He's like, "What is happening?" Yeah. So one of my favorite insults from the UK is bellend, because I never realized what it meant. It literally means you're a dickhead. But it's like a charming way to say dickhead because they're literally saying you're like a bell end, like the head of a dick, and I'm just like that's a delightful. Like, oh,
Interesting.
you fucking bell end, and I'm just like everything you guys say is so cute.
It means nothing to me. It's like you could say that, and I'm just like, sure.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
someone
I
calling
am.
me a cracker. Like, I don't care. Crackers are delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, saltines, Triscuits, bring it at, like bring it on.
Next time I see him in public, hey, Bell End. Good to see ya.
Like bell end. It sounds so jolly.
It does sound jolly, and I've heard that before, but I didn't exactly know what they were saying until you just said it. And
Yeah, you're welcome.
Didn't know it was an insult either.
So you're like, I was over there, like, hi, like, just be like, nice to meet you, Bella, and like, just.
I really
saying
need
it
to reevaluate some friendships here.
There was
Yep.
my friend was in the UK, and like apparently they throw out those words way, like there's certain words that over here we'll throw out, but they're spicy. But
Yeah.
over there they just say them like terms of endearment. Like there was a grandmother, like, you know, being like, oh, could you, like to her grandkid in like a little baby carrier or whatever,
Yeah.
and she literally was like, oh, you wee little cunt. I was like,
Perfect.
It was just like as if she was saying, "Oh, my little baby, my precious princess. Oh, you wee little cunt."
Yeah.
That's
Isn't
what
that
you call
funny?
your mates, and you call your
Yeah.
the cunts mates. I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Yep.
Isn't that funny how like language is like completely different, just another country, even though you speak the same daggum language?
Mhm.
Like that's bizarre. Like it always made me skeptical, not of Christianity, because I am a Christian, but of them saying I'm not allowed to cuss. I'm like, well, like a cuss word here is not a cuss word 100 miles from here.
Right.
So, like, how do we define this? What is the definition? Like, how am I supposed to know all the cuss words everywhere, all the time, forever? Like, it's
And
impossible.
Our version of English wasn't even invented yet. So technically they might have just said, "Hey, don't swear in Hebrew or don't swear in ancient Greek or Aramaic," but like we're
Yeah.
good. You can call somebody a cunt if you want. Jesus is okay with it, I guess.
Yeah. I've
Them's
narrowed it
the
down to
rules.
basically just don't take the Lord's name in vain. That's basically what I've narrowed it down to. It's just
And-
There you go.
I
Intent behind it too, you know. So it's
Yeah.
yes.
whatever the language is. I mean, because there's even nice words that, you know, they're not one of the forbidden 9. They can be awful. You know, someone
Bless your
cuts
heart.
you off, you know, cuts in front of you at the checkout line or something like that. But, hope your pillow's hot for the rest of your life.
or just like even like bless your heart, you know, it's like it sounds
Yeah.
nice, but it's literally like
Oh yeah, it's a very good underhanded insult.
what was
My
the other?
grandmother would follow that up with, bless her heart, she doesn't have the sense God gave a goose. And I've always loved that.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Well, and one I've heard too is you don't have enough sense to pour piss out of a boot.
Interesting.
I love
I've had some folks tell me that one. That's real, very uplifting.
I love like redneck or just like southern isms. They're so colorful. Like I have my
Yes.
mom's friend is like, I couldn't have been more surprised if I woke up with my head stapled to the carpet. Like just such visceral like imagery. Or like one time her husband was wearing shorts. She's like, look at my husband. Don't he have more legs than a bucket of chicken?
Oh, that's so
My
good.
favorite from that was my brother was a mason, and every now and then they would just say it fits like socks on a rooster. So I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, I know what it means. I don't know what it means in real life, but
You're as
they weren't
useful
doing
as
their job
hits on a
very
bull.
well, I guess.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I like that.
I can't recall any. My grandmother still says stuff, but I can't remember. I have a hard time remembering isms like that and quotes and sayings and stuff. So
What's another one? I heard like she's so skinny she's gonna fall through her butt and hang herself.
oh my god. Goodness gracious. That's some imagery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The South does have pretty good sayings. Let's see. Chase says, should I say it's hotter than a goat's ass in a pepper patch? My
Yep.
God.
I've heard that one.
How do y'all remember these? That's amazing.
We use them frequently, you know.
Oh, you
Hey,
see it?
you get those couple of relatives that have like those 5 or 6 phrases in their pocket. They just say all the time.
Ruby. I am but a simple traveler passing through and stumbling upon wise content worth of gold.
Yeah, I sent out the link in my Discord, so you might get some of my fun weirdo.
I love
friends.
it. I love it. Welcome, weirdo friends. It's
There we
amazing.
go.
Steven, what have you been up to, man? It's been like 2 months since we've done this.
I know. What was it? It was October was the last one, right?
Yeah. Well, I think October was the last one you were a part of.
Yes. That was because there was that was the last one I was part of for sure. Did you do one in November?
Well, maybe we didn't because that was, I guess, October would have been like a week or two before the election. So, yeah, no, I don't think we did another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just working my butt off, man. Just yeah, had some blood pressure issues back around Christmas.
Okay.
You know, this doesn't help, but you know, I factored it in. So we got everything right. Took me a couple of weeks. Dropping a few pounds didn't hurt.
Yeah.
But
It's got to help a little bit. Like, it's got to calm you down, right?
well, so the problem is the day after, because then your body's processing all the sugars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
There's a limit on it now, and I gave an honest accounting to the doctor. You know, he's in there asking the questions. Like, says you drink 25 to 30 beers a week. And I was like, yeah, if there's a party, it might go up,
But it won't come down.
Well, he's like, that's a lot. I was like, yeah, a little bit, maybe. Depends on who you hang out with. And so I had that benefit. I was able to cut that in half right off the top and still have a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like there was always a limit. You just hadn't found the limit yet.
Right. All things in balance. There wasn't a lot of balance to everything. So, had to make some diet and lifestyle changes.
Interesting.
All that stuff.
Matt Carter says pear juice, night of, hangovers, goodbye.
Okay.
I find that hard. Mackie Carter, who will be at our convention.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
When is the convention?
May 12th to the 14th.
14th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Georgia one.
That's the Georgia one.
What's happening later this month then? I thought I saw people talking about something in January or early February.
There's a Cobb. Isn't there a Cobb County convention?
Could be, yeah.
Like that?
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Weirdos. I like Ruby. She's great.
I do know that they like to be. No, it's not delightful, guys. Get it right. It's delightsome. Go back to. I'm like lecturing my own people. So there was a video I did. There's a whatchamacallit, a video I did a reaction to. It was like a Mormon. I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was like a 6-minute cartoon from like the 80s that was like about Mormonism, but it was very like. It had a thing where it was like, okay, Lucifer and Jesus were brothers, and basically Lucifer was like, he rebelled, and then he recruited people, and like a third of the people became demons. Those were the ones who joined him. A third of the people who didn't join him, but they were the neutral ones. It said their skin was cursed to be dark, and this is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race. And suddenly you suddenly see their skin change to black, and I was like. And then the next group, they're like the last third who defied Lucifer. They were white and delightsome, and these are the modern day Mormons. And so we started calling ourselves because we all say we're degenerates, and now we're the delightsome degenerates. It was
wow,
insane.
What a video!
I remember that, but I did not remember delightsome.
Yeah, they're like they were white and delightsome. With the racist white, but then at the end I realized I'm like, this does not make Mormonism look good, and I realized it was apparently made by an anti-Mormon guy, and there was a lot of controversy about it, but it made for funny reaction content. So,
well, I kind of want to Google that because I feel like white and delightsome is in one of their texts, but
possibly.
Interesting.
I have no idea.
Wow.
Yeah, that's bold. Amanda, do you have any shorter videos that you would like to play on here tonight?
Oh my goodness. Like one of my sketches or something. I just filmed one today. It's not ready, but I'm excited about it. I filmed one that's mothers against gas assault stoves. And they're like, we found the weapons of mass destruction. They're in your kitchen. And it's like, please, President Biden. And it's like, a gas stove killed my Travis. And then I put my shotgun in the stove, and I made it look like the stove. Like, I don't know. It's stupid. It's gonna be fucking dumb. But
now, is that MAGAs on purpose?
I thought it was funny because they were very like President Biden, please. And at one point they're like, mothers against assault stoves or MAGAs. And one of the people is like, I'm just trying to do stuff that's like, I mean, some of my stuff is overtly political, but for the most part, I'm kind of want to be in that South Park pocket where it's like it's funny. The funny is the primary, goal.
Okay.
And then if there's, I don't really think I'm saying anything with the assault stove thing other than just making fun of the idea that they're dangerous and need to be banned. Like, please, thank you, ban this, protect people.
That's great.
Let me look up and see what a good God, all my good short stuff, because I'm usually like 5 to 6, like 3 to 6 minutes. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. I have some older ones, but I don't want you guys to get in trouble because some of them have to do with like COVID, and every time I do things, they're like they put like a label on it, so maybe not.
Oh, we had like 2 whole episodes where we talked about COVID for a long. They don't care about that anymore.
Okay, they're on to climate change now.
Yeah, they're on to other things. The next big thing.
Let's see.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like our strike was for election shenanigans, I guess.
It was the Ted Metz episode. It was just
Ted was
talking
too
about
based.
election stuff.
Sean wants to know when we start talking about roads. I mean, there's a segment that's a built-in segment, right? Each time.
we
actually
had
hate
a whole podcast just about roads, Sean. 6 hours long every Saturday night at midnight.
It's the reason we have civilized society.
Yeah. Is the podcast.
Who else would build it?
Somebody mentioned roads again on freaking Rogan when they were talking about libertarianism the other day, and I about lost it was the stupidest conversation too. And like Rogan's great on a bunch of stuff. He's not great on that side of it.
He's not good on roads. He's always been a road disappointment.
A road bigot.
Yeah, Elizabeth says the AA meeting is priceless. Amanda.
Elizabeth is great. She's been such a big supporter of my stuff. I also have because some of my best ones are like the longer ones you need to sit down for. Like I have one that's like Black Agatha Christie, where it's like my experience as like a vaguely brown actress, where they're like, we're bringing you in, for this. It's a reboot. It's Agatha Christie, but this time she's black. I'm like, yeah, I got that. And then it's just like literally some of it is pulled from my actual experience, where they were like, can you sound more? Because they know they can't say black, they can't say ethnic, they can't say urban, so they'll be like, I had one time where they were like, can you sound sassier? And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, Fruit of the Loom. And they're like, no, okay, originally we had envisioned Queen Latifah would do this part. I'm like, and you picked me? Like, do you hear how I talk? So anyway, but yeah, I'll find a shorter one. Yeah, we can use. Elizabeth, what do you think about The Birth of Auntie Gran? Have you seen that one yet? This is kind of what I like to do, where like technically people might think I'm making a stance on things, but really it's just absurdism. Do I send it in the private chat, I guess?
Yeah, send it in the private chat and I'll share it. Let's see.
Was your latest one the
Republicans and Democrats dating game?
No, I didn't see that one, I guess, but I saw the comedy that you tweeted out where like the minstrel or whatever.
Oh, that was actually my oldest, one of my oldest ones. Oh yeah, that one's kind of
good. I like that.
That one's actually kind of short. Maybe I don't know.
Well, here we go. Let's watch this. This is The Birth of Auntie Gran.
Captain speaking. We just got word from the FAA that masks are
Can y'all hear sound?
So feel free
Yep.
to wear it or keep wearing it if you prefer. Up to you.
Wait, what are you doing? Don't you dare take that off, John.
But Dave, he said I could if I want.
Oh, so do you want to kill grandmas? Do you want to kill grandmas? Oh, so do you want to kill grandmas?
Daddy! Wait, the kid's still alive. Well, ain't that something?
You gotta fight a spirit, kid. Too bad we got a mite of that Attica.
No, I like this one. He's got spunk, don't you, kid? Today's your lucky day, Sonny. Just remember never to cross the grannies again, or you'll end up like your dead idiot parents over there. There's a good boy. Oh, wait. I've got something for you.
So do you want to kill grandmas? So do you want to kill grandmas?
Yes.
Sir, what can I get you?
Oh, yes. Club soda, please. conventions.
Next up at 11 is Completely Bloodbath at Shady Pines, the third retirement home targeted this month. Just who is this unmasked vigilante? And why does he hate grandmother so much?
Fear is a tool. When that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning for them.
That is great.
Was that a Werther's original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that was when YouTube started being like, we're not going to push your stuff anymore. Because after that, like my views started going down. But I'm like, it's worth it. Because I originally the title was something like when COVID guilt tripping backfires or something. It was a little bit more on the nose. But what's the crazy? Oh, it's because it was back. This was back like when the FAA removed masks. Well, it's funny because I actually wrote it like a year before. All of my sketches I write and then I never make them in time, but then I wait a year and then it's relevant again. But the because this was like back when people were still like, do you want to kill grandmas? And then I was like, a lot of places are dropping masks. I guess the sketch doesn't work anymore. But airlines still had them. So after airlines dropped them, I had a friend on Facebook who like lost her mind about it. And I get it. She's very anxious. But she was like, I was mid-flight. We were in the air, somewhere over the Atlantic when they made the announcement, and everybody around me took off their masks, and I thought I was gonna die, and blah, blah, blah. And everybody in the comments was like, "You are so brave. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like, you'll recover from this." Like, but not ironically. And I'm just like, I understand people are scared. I understand, and for me, I'm like, wear them if you want. Don't wear them if you like. It's just the way they acted like she had just gotten back from Nam. And so that inspired me to kind of change the intro of it to make it like on planes, and it worked again. So
nice. Yeah, that was a great one.
Thank you.
Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Was awesome.
How long does it take you to film and to like edit that all together? Because you got a lot of like green screen going and stuff.
It does take me a while. That's usually why. Well, it depends. It depends on how much time I have. So right now, like I'm trying to do my day job stuff, but that gets in the way. But when I have time, I could churn one out in like, a day or two. Cause it's
nice.
My friend Caleb was in that one, but a lot of the times it's just me playing all the characters. Cause I don't have a lot of actor friends who want to put their face on my stuff, which I totally get. Yeah. So I'm like, I get that. So if you know any actor people who are okay with that, I like actors. That'd be great.
My wife and see.
That'd be cool because like there's certain things where like the joke doesn't always work. Like sometimes I'll play like the dudes, I'll play the women or whatever. But like sometimes if it's specifically talking about gender or whatever, it doesn't make as much sense for me to play because then people think I'm making some sort of statement I'm not making. So
right.
Sometimes it's, or if a character like needs to be like black looking, I'm like, well, I am half black, but people always go, oh, she's white, so the joke gets lost. Sometimes I'm like, I need a black friend. But yeah, and then the last sketch I put out was something I made, like it was one of the first sketches I filmed, but one of the last ones I put out, and it's like Republicans versus Democrats, and it's like the 70s dating game, and it's kind of like comparing the.
Somebody mentioned that. Ruby mentioned it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Elizabeth. Yeah, it's a little bit longer. It's probably like 6 minutes, but it's definitely one of my more, I guess, it's not like explicitly libertarian, but it's kind of like libertarian by proxy because it's basically like saying this is what I like and don't like about the Republicans. This is what I like and don't like about the Democrats. And then, if only there was a third option. Like at one point, she's like, "Is there a third bachelor?" They're like, "Nope." They're like, you hear a guy muffled, and they're like, "Shut up."
Nice.
So yeah,
it's great. I've seen this one too. It's good.
Sweet.
Thank you. It's been fun. The sketches are probably my favorite to do, but they're the ones I have the least time for because you're right. Like I made it more complicated on myself by doing the green screen, but also it kind of makes it easier too because I can't get those locations because I don't have many. So I can put myself anywhere.
There we go.
I like that.
We'll act for
Black
liberty.
for liberty. Great, because that's all I'll pay you with.
Ruby says we got time. Let's watch it. Should we just watch your entire channel right now?
Yeah. Just go through the whole. I mean, I'll send it to you.
4-hour live streams.
It's up to you though. I can.
Cool. We'll watch one a little later.
Okay.
I don't want to watch them all back to back. Can't do that.
Yeah, Jake is the producer here.
Yeah. I mean, I take my instructions from folks, or at least heavy suggestions. like Zach and Elizabeth, who Elizabeth is technically, I guess, my boss, even though I don't really get paid and there's no contract involved. And
You're here voluntarily.
Libertarian
leave
party.
whenever.
you get paid in liberty, just like my actors.
There we go. Yes,
You
exactly.
get paid very generously in liberty.
Oh man. Another question about your stuff. But now I forgot.
About I did tell the story. Sorry, I have a short-term memory thing.
That's okay.
But you said was
Well,
it about,
like how long do you spend writing them to begin with?
honestly, the writing is actually the quickest part. Like my brain, at first I was like, well, I got to pace myself because I don't want to put out my best sketches first. But then I realized my brain will never stop turning things into sketches. So
don't do that.
And it challenges me because I'll be like, this is the best sketch I'll ever do. I don't think I can, and then the next one I don't know. It's just fun to see in a year how much better they'll be than they are now, and
yes.
As opposed to putting a limit on my stuff. But yeah, no, I just wrote I wrote two like last night in the, like, I was like, oh, I should probably write like a short one. Cause people are like, you should do reels. Cause that's actually what gets you out there. Like YouTube doesn't promote my stuff, but if I did shorts or reels or TikToks, maybe it would. So I'm trying to do more short stuff. So I wrote the Mothers Against Gas Assault Stoves, pretty quickly. And then, I wrote a really insane one that I'm sure people will be like, I don't even know if it's funny, but it's funny to me. But that's
all that matters. If it's funny to you, it's funny to somebody.
Because it's because then you can see how fun it was to make. So even if you're like, I don't get it, you're like, somebody was really passionate about this.
Yes.
But it's about like eggs, and it's like the underground egg black market. It's just like, I got that pure crystal, chicken rock. What you want? I got nog, I got omelets. Like, let's go.
That's great. It is all about that though. Like, there are movies and documentaries that I'll watch, not caring at all about the subject, but the fact that the person making it, you can see their excitement and their passion for it so much that it makes you enjoy it. And like, you really get into it. So it, like, if you like it, my thought is make it, like always do that.
And do you guys remember that sketch? Or I guess it was like a short film. It was bizarre, but it was on Adult Swim. It was called Too Many Cooks.
No.
Zach remembers. It's so weird. It's like the opening of like an 80s or 90s sitcom, and they're like, too many cooks, and everybody's kind of turning and their name is at the bottom. And then it keeps going, and then it's like moves to a police station, and there's just like, it's like the longest intro ever. And then suddenly you realize there's like this creepy like drifter in the background. And then about like 5 minutes in, he starts killing the people as they're like turning around, and then it becomes this survival for life where like where like he's just going through every scene and like just killing people, and it's just like it becomes like too many cooks, and it's like this like weird absurdist thing, and like it goes on too long, and then it becomes funny again, and then it doesn't, and then it becomes funny again. It's like that playing with timing where if you push through.
I've never gotten into Adult Swim, but it does seem like something Zach would enjoy.
I saw it and totally did not get it at all, but all of my friends loved it. So
watch it again, because like you'll be like, okay, we get it, it's not funny, and then it becomes funny again. Like the there's an old Family Guy joke where he hits his knee or something, and he's like, and you're like, haha, and then it goes on too long. But then it keeps going, and then it becomes funny. Like, it's just that and Archer. Those shows taught me a lot about pacing and like
Archer's so good.
Yeah, like the slow, like not everything has to be fast. Like you could be like fast, slow. Like it's like music where it's like rhythm. And so Archer might be like blah 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 blah, and then a really long pause where they just stare at each other, and then somebody's just like, what? Like I don't know. I don't know why it's funny, but it is.
It is.
Oh yeah, that Aqua Teen Hunger Force was good at that too.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Or Metalocalypse. Like a lot of Adult Swim shows have a very odd sense of humor, and sometimes it's a little too weird for me. Like I don't really like grotesque stuff. So some of the stuff I think there's like Mr. Pickles is a little like too gross for me. But my sketch that's it's called like Why YouTubers Really Say This, and it's literally just making fun of why they say smash that like button. That's probably one of the weirdest sketches I have. Because he just like starts, and that one's the most Adult Swim I think that I have, where it's literally just this guy being like, all right, smash that like button. I mean, smash it. And then he starts going back into like this like old war flashback of the time he had to like kill his best friend, and he's just like, you don't want to, but you know, it's bizarre. But we are very much old boomers.
Hold on, I got to turn the volume down to read that.
Yeah.
Is Adult Swim something that only people over 30 would have ever watched?
Probably like millennials, I guess. I guess Zoomers are too busy. I don't know, like being on TikTok and eating ass. I guess that's what they do now, right? Everybody's talking about it.
Oh, that's such a bummer. That's such a harsh comment. Don't care for it.
I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and I was kind of like, okay, I kind of dig this YouTuber. Like, I don't really care for her politics, but she's funny, whatever. Like, I can ignore that. But then the thing that was the line for me was she was talking about YouTube reaction videos, and she was like adding all these like cutaways and like movie clips. So it's so millennials. Like, it's not funny. It's like people who learned all their sense of humor from Family Guy. And I was like, all right, bye, Zoomer. Like, I was wounded. I'm like, that is my sense of humor.
That does hurt. It hurts to the core.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Steven, are you a football fan?
Oh yeah.
Did you watch that game?
Oh yeah.
Was it even a game? Can we call it a game?
Yeah, it was more like Poland in 1939. But
oh my God.
It was. I mean, if you're a TCU fan, that had to be the most miserable thing to attend or watch. Like,
yes and no. You know, that's technically there's no such thing as bad press, right?
Well, who cares about the press? Just the utter depression you must feel.
Well, yeah. You know, if you gave up an interception or a fumble, or if you missed a field goal, you don't want to be that guy. But to be on the team, you still made it to the championship.
Yeah.
So, you know, the rest of the league, if they got something to say, oh, where were you? Oh, that's right, you were at home watching.
Well, to be fair, TCU got it given to them by the refs in the semifinals.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't deserve to be there at all.
Right.
Amanda, do you watch football at all?
No, my family was really big into the sports balls, and I was like, yes, I know what this is. I thought you were making a joke when you were like, oh, did you watch that game? I thought you were just like, yeah.
No.
Did you watch the game? Any of it? I don't know. Any of things?
Well, it was the only recent big game, so it was the only one that I'd be possibly referring to, and it was not even a game. Georgia beat TCU. What was it? 68-7, 62-7. It's a national championship game.
I'm sorry, 62?
62-7.
That's not a football score. Even I know that.
Right.
Oh, it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
They should have taken the other.
It was it the third quarter? Or was it actually the fourth quarter when they took Stetson Bennett out?
It was like the end of the third, beginning of the fourth. Okay,
so the whole quarter they had all second string guys in there, and they were just like, "Hey, they're giving out touchdowns tonight. Go get one."
Yep.
You know, your first ever game on the field is a national championship. Go get a touchdown.
I wonder how many of those people had never played or scored a touchdown before. There are definitely a bunch of them. It was just embarrassing. They shouldn't have been there. Like that. There were two calls in that TCU Michigan game. That guy scored that touchdown that they called back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he fell into the end zone. And then what was the other thing they did? Oh, they didn't call it targeting at the end of the game. When like every single requirement for it to be called targeting was hit on that checklist.
Oh yeah.
He smashed him, went like head first, chest first into this guy's back to a defenseless receiver, defenseless ball carrier, or whatever. Like somebody paid those refs. Like there's no way somebody didn't pay those refs to do that.
Oh yeah, it's just wild. I'm loving the Stetson Bennett memes though.
Yeah,
because
those are great.
25, which is apparently geriatric for a college student.
Yeah. A little bit.
Oh, I'm loving those because they're like, oh, well, you know, how do you feel? He's like, well, I remember when this college was all orange groves.
Elizabeth team is called the Horny Toads.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just the Horn Toads, Elizabeth. Come on.
Maybe that's what my followers should change to. From delightsome degenerates to the Horny Toads.
Come for the liberty, stay for the sports ball.
That's right.
That's our motto. I mean, I could
right.
talk about that for the rest of the night, but I know no
Oh.
one else gives a crap.
Don't they have mercy rules or something? Or maybe that's just like when we played, like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
If a team was losing by too much, they would just end it. They just take us all back and just behind the shed and old yeller us and put us out of our misery.
In college ball, I think they will, because I think oh gosh, this was a few years ago. Georgia Tech was involved in a game that the score was just like runaway, and there wasn't any championship rankings in play or anything like that. And I think some officials came in and were like, "Hey guys, tone it down a little bit."
Oh my gosh!
I mean, but
stop scoring. Basically, they were like, "Hey, let the other guys get one in."
But other than that, I mean, if there's a championship in play or it's a championship game, it's
yeah,
I'm stomping you and your mama.
Yeah, that was bananas. What have you been paying attention to with politics or culture, Steven?
A little bit of everything. So, I mean, you've already hit on the stoves.
I can't believe we have to even say those words.
Oh my gosh. It's wild to me. It is, but it isn't. So, part of me thinks that they really are that nuts. They want to ban the stoves.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's another part of me that it's like, okay, so they've gotten Trump's playbook. This be just off the wall, bombastic, just something so far out in left field. Heads explode. That's all anybody can focus on or talk about for a week and a half. And you get to do something in the background. Because if you notice, that's basically how Trump ran his whole presidency.
Yeah.
Well, because he's an egomaniac, which, by the way, anyone that would run for president is. But he really is. And so he wanted to be in the headlines anyways. But that's how he does business deals. I mean, I know people that have been on the receiving end of the business table with this man throughout the years too. And that's what he does. That's how he negotiates. He comes out with something just so awful. You're like, no, absolutely not. Then he comes like half of that. And you're like, oh, that sounds great. And he's like, see, that's negotiations. What I wanted anyways.
Right.
I'm the best. Just ask anybody.
Interesting. So this is just a distraction. I mean, I feel like half the stuff they do is a distraction because, I mean, how many like crazy headlines came out during the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, to bury that thing behind a whole bunch of other headlines. So yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, well, and I saw one picture of Ghislaine Maxwell not long after her trial, because apparently she was starting to name names and dates and times and all that kind of stuff. And there was one picture of her, and then she had in the corner of her eye, there was just like real bloodshot. And I was like, she get a lobotomy? What is that? It was while she was in the jumpsuit, and she, big old blood stain in the inner corner of her eye. And I'm like, what's going on there? And then now it's not a story anymore. I know that's kind of how they massage the media. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just kind of a head fake, but also the plan. And that's, one of their things that they do is they can throw it out there and we push back on it the first 5-10 times we hear it because it's just so stupid. But then after that, we just kind of like, oh, well, everything's stupid these days.
Yeah.
And we just kind of acclimate to it. So it's like it could be like a twofold approach where takes our mind off of something else. They get to do some other things while we're focusing on that. And then we eventually quit pushing back on it too. It's not really going to go away. I mean, it's in UN resolutions. These people have this plan.
The stove thing, or?
Well, yeah. Just industrialization in general is we're supposed to be in the dark, homeless, broke, and we're going to love it.
Eating bugs.
Yeah.
Well, I did think this stove thing was out of nowhere, and then somebody dug up a tweet from like June or July of last year of the World Economic Forum saying we shouldn't use gas stoves. So,
why is the World Economic Forum chiming in on gas stoves?
Because it's part of their thing of like, I imagine if they switch you to electric, then there's an ability to like, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know how much I believe in the whole, like, yeah, they're going to make us do the social credit score thing and they're going to turn off your power if you're saying stuff they don't like. Like, I don't know, but that's the theory.
Well, there's a town in Italy that's already kind of working that in. So China is one thing. Everyone's like, oh, well, that's never really going to creep over here. But it's, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but to me, it's baloney. Italy.
Awesome. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. So, if you prove that you recycle or, you're reducing your carbon emissions somehow, and you're using public transit, this, that, and the other. They actually give you crypto. You get exclusive discounts around town. They'll give you a free bus pass for a week. You get
Do
in
they
these.
give you free crypto or free Bitcoin? Because if it's crypto, who gives a shit? Because
I don't think they're giving out Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're giving out Bitcoin, then I might hop on that train.
Yeah. It's a few million Shiba Inu probably.
Let's see. AOC compared gas stoves with leaded gas, which is like comparing nuclear to pop rock. That's great.
Also, people went back and looked at her live videos, and she has a gas stove.
Oh my gosh. That is unbelievable. Oh gosh.
Well, isn't that like that's like Bernie, isn't he like all about socialism or democratic socialism or whatever, but he's got like 3 houses and he's like benefiting off of capitalism?
He gets a new house every time he loses an election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Same thing with Stacey Abrams.
Oh gosh, yeah.
First time she ran for office, she was what, 200 grand in debt?
Yeah.
Now she's all of a sudden worth 10 mil. The only thing she's done different is now she has all these PACs that she runs, and she lost a governor's race.
Twice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's like if TCU ran for governor, it was bad. Brian Kemp didn't even have to campaign.
That is kind of crazy.
Didn't she lose by more this time than she lost the first time?
Yep.
Yes.
It's good. What I've concluded is that people just forgot how bad Kemp was for a while, because 2 years went by before the actual election. So people forgot how bad Kemp was, and people really hate Stacey Abrams.
Tried to tell them, but can only reach so many people, I guess.
I guess so.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, and that gas tax that came back.
Oh yeah.
Just last week.
Oh yeah. No, it's back.
Right.
We landed in Georgia, so we just drove all the way across the country. We drove from here to Montana and back, and through Tennessee, Kentucky, Kansas, and Nebraska. Gas is cheap as crap. Like even diesel, because we have a diesel vehicle. Diesel was down to about like $3.50, $3.20 in some places, which is way lower than it is here. Because when we left, it was $5.
Is Jake echoing for anyone else? I'm
echoing. Who, Steven, is that because of you? Or is it
I don't know. Let me see here. Let's see.
You have headphones you can put in, Steven?
It's weird though, because it wasn't doing it the whole time.
It wasn't. It just kind of started. That's weird, because it wasn't doing it when you initially logged on. I have echo cancellation on, but I'm still hearing it.
Sometimes it just needs a minute. Like it might be good now.
Should we just pause? Should we come back in like 10 minutes and see if it
StreamYards is like, I'm tired. I've been working hard.
Sounds like Jake.
Shut up, Zach.
StreamYards is like that barista who was like, I work part-time and they made me work 20 hours this week. This is why Starbucks needs to unionize.
But yeah, like the whole gas tax thing came back, like all that stuff's come back. Did he end up giving back any of that tax revenue that he had?
Well, so there was, he made a Facebook post a couple of days ago.
Okay.
About, now that the new legislative session is in and people are getting sworn in.
Yeah.
They're going to, they're going to try to find ways of what they could do with this $6 billion. And I think at least half the state, I would hope is like, well, how about you just give it back? Yeah. All of it.
Yeah.
And that's, if you really wanted to help out, spending the gas tax, and this is, any legislator whose ear I could bend for the last couple of years, because spend the gas tax. How about you spend the income tax or abolish it? Because this is the second year in a row now that we've had $5+ billion of extra money.
Yeah.
And do you know too, was it a suspension of the gas tax that we pay at the pump or something down the line like suppliers pay?
Oh, interesting.
Because I wasn't ever sure on that.
Well,
it seemed like at one time they were saying they were suspending some sort of tax on like people who supply gas rather than I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference and any of it's good, but
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Like, was it just us getting just the like front end customers getting the break, or was it people on down the line too? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I just know gas went down about 20 cents for a few months, and now it's back. Yay!
Right. Yeah. So awesome. You have a $6 billion surplus. You're going to help me save $12 a month. Appreciate it, guy.
We could just do what Brett Favre did and spend it on building a volleyball court.
Jeez. He's going to jail, right? Or did he already go? Or is he?
I don't know. Is he convicted of anything? Are we even sure he knew about it? Because I heard he was just kind of on the board of this place and wasn't actually involved in the day to day. It just happened.
I'm not totally up to speed on this one though. Catch me up. So what is the whole deal? Because
supposedly in Mississippi, where he lives, supposedly he or an organization that he's affiliated with embezzled a whole bunch of money from the welfare system and put it towards building some type of volleyball stadium where his daughter goes to school. That's the basic gist that I got, and nobody seems to know if he had anything to do with it, if he knew about it, or anything like that. Somebody may know. I just don't.
Well, hey, there's a county down here near where I live on the south end that they jacked up property taxes 25%, and then said it was because they had such budget shortfalls. But then they spent like $800,000 on a pickleball court.
Oh my gosh! What is people's obsession with that daggum game? Why do people love that game so much? It's
I don't
a mediocre game.
It allows geriatrics to play tennis. I don't know.
I don't get it, but people love it. People love it.
We're the geriatrics now.
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm getting my paddle next week. There's a nice new court just around the corner.
Seriously.
We do hit a point though where it's like, oh man, I am becoming my parents. Like there's a certain point where I stop learning who the new children are. Like I'm like, I don't care about your singers. I know my singers. I know my shows, my quotes. I'm still quoting, I don't know, movies from the mid 2010s, early 2000s, or Austin Powers. I don't know, like just that era. You just kind of freeze in time, like a weird, like, I don't know, museum exhibit.
Oh yeah. No, I am fully on board with this. It was only the past couple of years where I now know nothing about popular culture. Like completely unplugged from that. And I'm definitely partially my dad at this point in time, for sure.
If I didn't follow memes, I would not know slang terms or anything, these days.
But can you use them properly? That's the question.
Yes. For the most part.
Okay. Okay. Try to work one into the conversation here in the next few minutes.
Steven, do you know? I keep seeing this one, but I still don't know how to incorporate it into the grammar of a sentence. But I see people saying "you ate," but it's like good, but it's like you ate, I guess. And I'm like, I don't like ATE. And I just, the children are confusing me on that one. I remember
or when they start typing ion instead of I don't.
Oh yeah.
Like, what?
That's
a thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I don't know what you're saying, man. And that's ION.
Wow.
Okay.
Interesting. I didn't know about spill the tea.
That's older. I think spill the tea's done.
It's how much older? Are we talking like previous generation or
no, like
3 months ago?
like a year ago. I'll be writing, like, one of my day job things is I'll write scripts for the English dubs of like foreign Netflix shows. Okay. So it's like you're trying to make it match the mouth and trying to make it look like that's what they're saying. But the problem is they always give me the teenage shows, but I feel like I'm always like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's rad. That's, whatever. And I'm like, that's probably not modern. But now they're like, for real. I don't know. Like spill
that slaps.
Yeah, that slap. Okay. And there's like no cap. That's a modern one. But then it's like, it's funny, some are coming back. So for real is not, but for real, like FR, that's back. Hella is apparently back.
Oh yeah.
Hella's from my day.
That's what I'm saying,
like my high school time.
That made a full
circle. It never really caught on fully. Like I hope it
was
reaches
a joke
its
back
potential.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know slang was cyclical. This is amazing.
Well, they're going through like, so you know how like we were like, oh yeah, like the 80s seems so interesting, the 70s or whatever, like, and then they're going back to like the 90s and early 2000s. So now there's songs like I fell in love with an emo girl, and I'm just like, wait. I'm not old enough for you to be singing nostalgic songs about like my era of like high school. This is unacceptable.
I have been noticing singers sampling songs from when I was in high school recently. And that now that you mention that, that's very depressing.
Yep, we are it's like the meme, was it Captain Phillips was like, look at me. We are the geriatrics now.
Emo just coming back a little bit. So maybe everyone wants to be on that, or that's just geriatric me hoping.
Interesting.
Thanks, Matt Carter.
Let's see. My brother, who's 6 years younger than me, is the reason why I'm still keeping up. The other day, he explained to me the definition of furries, and I had no idea what it meant until that day.
Ruby, that is a lie. We talk about furries a lot on my channel. Unless maybe you just this whole time you're like, I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they're talking about pets. They just really like dogs.
I learned about furries from that the Zach Braff movie. This not Garden State, the sequel or his follow-up to that. I forget what it was called. Anyway, they have a whole thing about furries in that one.
There was a recent furry convention where they had where apparently there was chaos and the cops had to be called, and furries were apparently throwing loaded diapers at people. And there was like people like doing whippets and all this sorts of drugs and stuff. And I was like, and it's like Mad Max at this place. Like,
how awesome would it have been if like 4 Fox furry cops would have showed up?
That has got to be such a funny thing to film. To like have the cops called on a furry convention has got to be one of the funniest sights.
I know some folks in EMS, and they've had some calls at the hotel parties.
Oh,
really?
Gosh.
Yeah.
You sighed. That was a big sigh.
Oh yeah. And they're like, how do we untangle this Rubik's Cube?
Yeah. A few years ago, somebody threw a chair off like the 10th story of the Marriott during Dragon Con.
Oh my God.
What?
So there's always shenanigans like that going on.
I did
like
see
those are the ones you need to watch out for that weekend.
I saw at this past Dragon Con, I saw that there was going to be an orgy, and I was very curious. I wanted to go just to observe because I'm like, how does this work? But I was like, well, it might be like a sausage party, and they'll be like, girl. I'm like, no, I'm not taking part. I just want to watch. But there was like 300 people RSVP'd. And it was like one room, and I'm like, how do you do this? Like, do you have like a chart that you like sign up for time slots? Like, how do you? I don't understand how this works. But anyway,
they probably have a great buffet too. I mean, the snacks I'm sure are amazing.
Finger food.
Yeah. Everybody brings a dish, you know.
Show up with like a casserole. And... Sorry, Jake.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Let's watch another one of your sketches.
Sure. I know Elizabeth and Ruby were talking about the dating game one, so I feel like also that probably appeals to this crowd more, I imagine.
Well, we're going to watch the dating game one then.
I hope it's not too loud. I hope the volume's good.
Well, people can turn it down.
Okay.
Let me know if just give me a
it should be it should be good. Well, yeah, I guess you guys in the audience can let us know what it's.
And welcome back to the dating game. Will our voter Gloria find love behind the wall with Bachelor number 1 from Team Red or Bachelor number 2 from Team Blue? Let's find out.
Bachelor number 1, what is your ideal first date?
I mean, I'd probably just bend you over and right in the tailpipe, ma'am.
Wow. Well, people play so many games nowadays. It's almost refreshing.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to do the subtitles properly.
Bachelor number 2. I would never screw a lady identifying person in such a way. I would take you out to a fancy, ethically sourced restaurant where they give their employees health care and a living wage. Then I'd have you pay the bill. Because progress. And I'd lay you down tenderly on a bed of free-range rose petals, shipped by a distributor with a low-carbon footprint, of course. Then lovingly, but very vigorously penetrate your anal cavity. That's what he just said.
Nah, girl, I just lube.
Well, let's say I was into that. Would I at least enjoy it with you?
No, ma'am, but the founding fathers got along just fine without foreplay. Or lube.
Well, we actually petitioned Oxford Dictionary to change the definition of the word enjoy due to its colonialist origins. So, yes.
You're really into the whole big word
cosplay thing, aren't you? No, what you mean, girl? I'm just an ally who believes in equity and intersectionality, but ain't about that Anglo-centrist diaspora life, like multicultural competency within post-colonial theory, like Rama-Lama-Lama, Kadinka-Dinka-Dong. Did that make sense to you, or? It didn't. But the kids eat it up, though. Check it. Systemic, structural racialization, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, bitch. Respectfully, of course. Okay. Be honest, what would you say is your worst trait? I care too much. I talk a big game, but I can't seal the deal. Once you give me that saddle, I won't do shit. Oh, me too. That's me, girl. Spineless. Completely fucking useless. Is there like a door number 3? Like a third bachelor hiding back there? What? No, nothing to see here. What door? Doors are conservative talking points. Well, time to play hardball. How do you feel about racism? I can't see it because I have a stage 4 case of terminal color blindness. But if I could see it, then no, ma'am, I would not much care for it. Racist says what? Sorry, I don't know where that came from. I am sick of this shit. I freed the slaves, you little bitch. You think this guy's not racist? This motherfucker's for Jim Crow 2, Electric Boogaloo. Oh, that's just the sequel, baby. Jim Crow 1's all you. Baby, just say no to Mr. War on Drugs over here. Yeah, Mr. Tough on Crime. I'll apply the 3 strikes right in your Rocky Mountain oysters. Let's go. You started it. No. He who spelled it does it. Hey, so you're both a little racist. I want kids, and I'm approaching my mid-30s, so that's not necessarily a hard deal breaker anymore. So tell me, how big is your government, if you know what I mean? Man, so big. I'll legislate, mandate, regulate the shit out of you, girl. I'll get all up inside your business and tax you stupid till you beg for more, my empowered queen. Yeah, authoritarianism isn't really my kink. I'm into more like live and let live kind of guys. Bachelor number 1, I hear your government's more modestly sized. Y'all just think that because I'm a grower, not a shower. So in the end, you'd both use your power to enforce your values on me. Now, hold on, let me consult Jesus. Oh, interesting, okay. Yeah, no, he says only for sex. And drugs, buying alcohol on Sundays, also abortion and gambling. Well, just general sin is the drift. What was that? Oh, and also purchasing raw milk within the state of Georgia. I wouldn't need to control you if you just did whatever I thought was right. Why do you think you know it's better for me than me? Because y'all are stupid and need me to save you from your stupid ass ways. You said the quiet part out loud, bud. Oops. I'm still better than him, right? You really sure there's no, like, alternative bachelors back there? Yeah, no, it's just the two of us. Just the 2 of us. If you don't stay still. Look, baby, I know I may not seem like much. I'm old-fashioned, and I don't got fancy words like equity and lubrication. But if you chose me, I'd defend your right to bear arms so you could defend yourself against predators who want to hurt that bodacious body. Or just to have them, because, damn it, the Constitution says you can, and guns are a blast. This one. I don't have to like what you say, but I would defend to the death your right to say it. Unless it makes my bald eagles cry, and then we might exchange words. I do my best to stay out of your small business's way, so you can compete with the big boys. And one day, maybe you too can go to space in your own wiener rocket. I know I ain't perfect, but I would aim to help you get as close to that whole life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness thing as possible. If you'll let me, ma'am. Well, when you phrase it like that, I guess. But if you so much as look at a magic mushroom sideways, I will throw you in jail for 300 years. Do you understand me? Oh, yeah, me too. I'll do that. Oh, come on, dude. You're supposed to be the cool one. But I feel really bad about it. Shit. Speaking of liberty, let's say I did or didn't want to get a particular medical procedure done. Would you respect my bodily autonomy? My body, my choice. No, except for whatever he's talking about. Okay, you know what? I think I've made my decision. Why do they always walk into traffic? Should have used bigger words. Yeah, that was your problem. Well,
Want to do butt stuff again? Now that's what's up.
Damn it, I wish I could quit you.
Now you know you love me. There you go. Shenanigans.
Nice.
Great.
Dang. That's good.
Thank you. The editing's kind of crappy, but that's partially because when I'm filming by myself, I'm like, shoot, I'm like, I wish I had a cutaway moment there, but I don't. So sometimes it's not. Yeah, anyway. But
Nobody notices that but you.
No one notices.
Okay. To me, I'm like, I feel like sometimes I cut and I shouldn't. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah.
No.
Oh no, that was great. I could see you kind of critiquing it while you were watching it with us, but that was awesome.
Thank you guys.
I mean, you're obligated to think it's not funny, I think.
Well, and that's the weird thing is like when I'm watching it and I think it's funny, then I'm like, okay, that's probably a well-written sketch. Then if I still know it's coming, I'm like sometimes I'll be like, that was pretty clever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed my sketches. They're really fun for me to make, and I feel like I don't know, when it comes to like acting stuff, it never felt as personal, but my sketches feel very personal to me.
Yeah, because they're your baby. You created them.
Right, like they're my thoughts. It's my sense of humor, my my jokes, my opinions. So it feels much more, I don't know, authentic art, I guess, than acting and saying somebody else's words.
Yeah. Oh yeah, two completely different things for sure.
Do you intentionally sit down and write these, or are you just in bed and you're like, I got a great idea, I gotta get up?
I have my oh no, I don't film them. Thank you, Matt Carter. I'll be in bed or I'll be on the toilet or whatever, and I have like a notepad thing on my iPhone where I'm like sketch ideas, and I'll write down like a random one-liner thought that I have. Like yesterday, it was literally just mothers against gas assault stoves, and then this morning I wrote it down and then I filmed it. That's what I would love it to be. Like if I could actually like make money out doing it somehow, then that's all I would do is I would just make a sketch every day and it'd be really fun. But for now, I had like a 6-month period where I didn't post on my channel at all. So that definitely was not great for the algorithm. But like I was like, yeah, I'm going to do stuff. And then I had to start working. And then my grandmother died. And then I just didn't post for 6 months. And I just fell out of a routine. But in October, November, I started up again. And I've been relatively consistent. Trying to do sketches, doing live streams, kind of like this, where it's just, people having fun. Like, we might talk politics here and there, but I really want to make a space like Daywalker is supposed to be an in-between space. Kind of like what this is. Like, we're not quite left, not quite right. We're our own thing. So
I love it.
I think most Americans are.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I always tell people they're way more libertarian than they think they are.
Yeah, like we're like some people are like, oh, I'm on the left, but I'm pro 2A, or like most Americans, I think 60% of Americans identify as independent or moderate. And then even then, if you are a Republican or Democrat, most of them still can see and converse with the other side. But online, it looks like the opposite. It looks like everybody's 50-50, but it really is. I think 8% of people identify as far left and 6% I think identify as far right. But those are the ones we see online. So it seems like everybody is, but most people can get along when you talk to them in person.
Yeah.
It's just the internet people.
Well, apparently 80% of the people we see online are bots. So.
No, there you go.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Out of my 12 alternate accounts, I got 4 that are left wing and 8 that are right. So
it's just all you, just stirring the pot.
That's right.
Oh, that's crazy. I've got nothing else to talk about for tonight. If y'all want to talk about some more stuff, we can keep this going. Otherwise, I'm going to call it.
There was something that happened over Christmas break that I thought was pretty funny. And it was like I think it was a UK cancer center or something sent out a holiday message, but it sent the wrong message. So the message was supposed to be Merry Christmas, everybody. But it ended up being like, you have cancer. So like a bunch of people just got like a message being like, hi, you have cancer. And they all started freaking out instead of getting their Merry Christmas message.
Oh my God.
Which is not unsimilar from something that happened a couple months back in Germany. KFC over there was trying to promote like, yeah, cheesy chicken, whatever thing. And it sent out, it's supposed to send it out, I guess, automated based on whatever holiday it is. And so maybe somebody's calendar had this in it, but it sent out a commemorate Kristallnacht with cheesy chicken.
Oh my God. What Kristallnacht is. I remember hearing this story, but
there we go. Yes.
Exactly. Wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
so
like-
apparently, before I came on, I sent the wrong link to my friend Danielle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think she got on here.
there you go.
She just didn't have video.
There you go. Well, she wanted to clear the air about that and geriatrics apparently. So apparently she had an opinion
Oh
on
wait,
that.
she was in her pajamas.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to be on video.
Right.
Do you want me to bring her on? Because she's down here right now.
Yeah. Bring her on.
All right.
Oh God. Hi.
Hey.
Young person.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
So,
Welcome to the show.
thanks. Oh, it was a show, and I had to run upstairs, do something with my hair, all that, because I had no idea. This was, I was just going to be watching.
Wrong one.
Participate. And I think it's hilarious that any of you are calling yourself geriatric. I guarantee I'm the oldest one on the screen right now.
Oh, we're not calling ourselves geriatric.
Yeah,
People
somebody
have
else.
been saying this in the comments.
Who
Was it Mac?
Probably teenagers.
It might have been Mac doing it.
It was Mac. It was Mac doing it. Yeah.
Sweet little thing. That's
Yeah.
adorable. I like this. This was fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start tuning in on the regular, and if you guys ever want some grumpy old lady comments,
I love it. Yeah, you can. We stream it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, but we only see the comments from YouTube and Facebook. We don't see the Twitter comments because, as stated before, those are all bots, so no one cares.
Yeah, Twitter's not a real place, as Chappelle says.
Right.
But yeah, y'all, I'm. Oh wait, here we go. Yep, tonight's episode was brought to you by the word geriatric. Okay, that's perfect. Y'all, I'm going to end it there. We're an hour and 45 minutes in. That's basically hitting my 2-hour limit because I am a geriatric and old and I want to go to bed. So.
gotta go watch your stories and wind down.
Gotta go
Running
watch
out of tonic water, huh?
Exactly. But thank y'all for joining, and any of y'all are welcome back anytime that we do this. If you see us streaming, you can just message me or comment, and I'll send y'all a link, and you can hop on and chat. We're going to try to do this. I have it scheduled in my calendar every Thursday night at 8 p.m. So we're going to try to do that every single time. Sean Bird just said CSI is on.
Gotta get my Metamucil and watch my CSI.
Oh man, but yeah, thanks for all the input. Amanda, thanks for joining for your first time. This was great.
Yeah, this was really fun, and thank you for letting me share some of my absurdity with you guys.
Absolutely.
Way, I loved it, all of it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Nice. That one, absolutely 100% my entire dating life. It's a real thing.
Nice.
Well, I'm YouTube's kind of where I have like my main stuff. I'm trying to get better about posting on other things. Now that I have Twitter Blue, I can actually post longer videos, so I'll probably start posting some of these sketches there. But yeah, so if you like any of it, subscribe because YouTube does not promote my stuff. And
is it all Daywalker comedy?
Yeah, Daywalker comedy on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, Odyssey. Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, if you like anything, please like retweet or whatever, just help signal boost stuff. Because yeah, my thing is just, I think after the COVID thing, it was like, no, we're not sharing your shit anymore.
But hey, you got whatever help I can provide. I'm definitely a fan.
I appreciate it. And I guess YouTube was like, don't tell people to kill grannies. I'm like, it's funny. It
is funny. That was a great one. Steven, you got anything you need to promote or talk about?
As far as the party goes, our chapter down here on the South End, Fayette County, our next meeting's on the January 28th at the Hog Pit in Fayetteville. Down on the South End.
Is that
barbecue? You're frogging free. We'd love to see you.
Is that barbecue?
It is. It is. But it's inside of a brewery as well. So there's a nice spacious brewery playground for the kids to play. We get to sit and have a beer and eat barbecue and talk politics and watch the kids play.
Nice.
So
that's a
pretty
good
cool
setup.
venue.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, you got anything we need to promote tonight?
Nothing much this time. Just follow me, Z Varnell and LP Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And then other than that, we'll have more later.
Heck yeah. As far as me and Free Georgia Podcast, we're going to be back releasing our first episode in over 2 months on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. There's not going to be a guest with this first one. It's just going to be me talking nonsense by myself. So that'll be fun. So tune in on Tuesday. I think it'll go live on Thursday night or on Monday night for YouTube. So you can watch it live or you can tune in the next morning on all podcast platforms. Yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a good night.
See ya.